It was a fairy tale moment, but just my nightmare.
With so many campaigns, with Me Too and Time's Up, there is no better time than to really continue to shine a light on women feeling empowered.
Unprecedented words from a royal, but soon the headlines were less about change and more about challenges. Claim dress drama to bullying accusations fueling a royal rift. Harry and Meghan were off.
We are on the freedom flight.
That freedom flight led to an explosive Oprah sit-down
about how dark your baby is going to be?
And what that would mean or look like. I didn't want to be alive anymore.
allegation days later.
Very much not to miss this fact.
The drama playing out in the press and on live TV.
We don't know any of the details or who said it or how they said it.
You continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not my
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Public opinion nosedived, polls showing Harry and Meghan's popularity in Britain at an all-time low. But the couple kept telling their story, painting themselves as victims of the palace machine. Harry's memoir Spare became the fastest-selling non-fiction book of all time, but their multi-million-dollar deals hit snags.
Testing 1, 2.
Their Spotify contract was canned after just one season of Meghan's Archetypes podcast, and most of their Netflix shows rated poorly. But
beyond any differences, here at the Invictus Games, we are grounded in mutual respect, but believing in one another.
The Invictus Games, Prince Harry's Paralympic-style competition for injured veterans, continues to flourish.
We all have a lot of stuff to do.
And Meghan's filmed 2 series of with mixed reviews. Her sell jams and other products. She's also launched an online clothing page, but it's too early to see if these ventures are successes. Throughout all the drama, the royal families remain silent. They may be hoping Harry and Meghan's Californian dream works out, because the alternative, it's feared, is more cashing in on royal secrets. Cameron Walker, GB News.
Hey, Royal Sussex Squad, welcome back, beautiful people. I'm so glad you're here because today we need to have a real conversation. Not just any conversation, one that touches the heart, stirs the soul, and calls out a quiet injustice that happened right in front of millions of eyes. We're going to talk about something that's only now coming into the light, even though it should have been called out years ago. I'm talking about what happened during Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's historic royal wedding back in 2018. A celebration of love, a bridge between cultures, a shining moment in royal history that was supposed to represent change, progress, hope. But now we find out that someone made a choice to exclude, a choice to diminish, a choice to erase. And let me tell you, when it comes to our people, when it comes to excellence, and when it comes to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle trying to make space for that excellence, we will not stay silent. So let's go back to that beautiful day in May 2018. Millions of us were watching. Whether you were in London, New York, Nairobi, Kingston or Cape Town, you felt the electricity. This wasn't your typical royal wedding. No, this was something different, something powerful. The Kingdom Choir sang Stand By Me and brought the house down with soul and grace. Bishop Michael Curry, that bold American preacher, shook the ancient walls of Windsor Castle with a sermon that spoke of love, of justice, of the transformative power of compassion. And then came Sheku Kanneh-Mason, the teenage cellist handpicked by Prince Harry himself. Now pause there, think about that. This wasn't just a random performer. Sheku was a first, the first black winner of the BBC Young Musician of the Year award. A classical cellist who had already made history before he even stepped foot into St. George's Chapel. And at that chapel, on that day, he played with a kind of soul that transcended time. You didn't have to know classical music to feel it. You didn't have to know Bach from Beethoven to recognize you were witnessing brilliance. Sheku's performance added an emotional depth that took that royal wedding from ceremonial to unforgettable. And that wasn't by accident. That was by design. That was Prince Harry and Meghan Markle saying, "This is who we are. This is what we stand for. Diversity, talent, black excellence, inclusion." That was Meghan, biracial American, a woman who'd been scrutinized and underestimated her entire life, making space at the most watched royal event in decades. And that was Harry, raised in a family that tried to keep things just so, daring to say, "We're going to do things differently." But now we learn, years later, that the BBC, yes, the British Broadcasting Corporation, the so-called gold standard of public broadcasting, chose to cut Sheku out of the official wedding highlights. Let that sink in. He played live at the wedding. Millions saw him. He performed his heart out, filled that ancient stone chapel with music so pure it made grown men cry. And the BBC decided he didn't make the cut. According to Sheku's mother, the amazing Dr. Sheku Kanneh-Mason, they turned on the highlights that night. Nothing, not a glimpse. The next morning they searched the papers. Not a single photo, not a line of acknowledgement. And this wasn't some oversight. This was deliberate. This was erasure. Why? Because he didn't fit the narrative. Because, as Dr. Kanneh-Mason so powerfully said, the gospel choir was doing what they were supposed to do. The preacher was doing what he was supposed to do. But a black cellist, that cancels itself out. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's not doing a black thing. Can we sit with that for a moment? What kind of world do we live in where black artistry, when it doesn't fit someone's stereotype, gets erased? They couldn't understand how to package a young black man playing classical music. They didn't know how to frame it. So instead of embracing that brilliance, they edited him out, as if he never played, as if he never belonged. But we know he did belong. He belonged in that chapel. He belonged in that moment. He was meant to be there. This is why we will always support Harry and Meghan, because they see people. They saw Sheku. They saw the Kingdom Choir. They saw Bishop Curry. They saw the importance of creating a wedding that looked like the world we live in, not just the one trapped in a palace's imagination. But the British media, especially institutions like the BBC, just can't help themselves. They've spent years trying to rewrite the story, trying to downplay the significance of that wedding, trying to erase Meghan's contributions. And now, we know, they were trying to erase others too. This, right here, is the clearest example of the same system that forced Harry and Meghan out. The same system that tried to silence them, smear them, and push them to the margins. It didn't start with the press turning on Meghan. It didn't start with the tabloids calling her difficult. It started right there, at their wedding, when the world was watching, when a young black man was playing his cello, and someone somewhere decided, we don't want that in our story. But guess what? We do. We want Sheku in our story. We want Harry and Meghan in our story. We want to tell the truth. And the truth is that Sheku Kanneh-Mason is a national treasure. The truth is that his mother was right to speak out. The truth is that the BBC should be ashamed. And the truth is, Harry and Meghan were right all along. So the next time someone tries to question why Harry and Meghan stepped back, remind them of this. Remind them that even at their wedding the British establishment was already picking and choosing who deserved to be seen. Remind them that this couple fought to uplift others, only to watch those moments get whitewashed, literally. And let's be clear, this wasn't just a cut in editing, this was a cut to the heart. A reminder that for all the talk about progress, the gatekeepers are still clinging to the old playbook. But we're tearing those pages out, one by one, right here, together. To Sheku, thank you. You gave us something unforgettable. They may have tried to erase you from the footage, but they can't erase you from our memories, from our hearts, from history. To Dr. Kanneh-Mason, thank you for your courage, for telling the truth when it wasn't easy. And to Harry and Meghan, we see you. We support you. And we will always stand with you. Thank you, Royal Sussex Squad, for being here, for being part of this global family, for keeping the fire of truth burning even when the world tries to blow it out. If this message spoke to you, if you believe in celebrating black excellence, defending truth, and standing with Harry and Meghan, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. BBC accused of cutting the Duke and Duchess of Sussex got married in May 2018 at Windsor Castle. The mother of cellist Sheku Kanneh-Mason has claimed her son was excluded from BBC highlights of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's wedding because he is black. Sheku Kanneh-Mason said she was dismayed to discover her son, who performed at the 2018 ceremony at St George's Chapel in Windsor, was omitted from media coverage. Out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding cellist because he is black, Sheku Kanneh-Mason made history as the first black winner of the BBC Young Musician competition before his royal wedding performance. Speaking at the Hay Festival in Wales, Sheku Kanneh-Mason suggested that the media did not know how to portray a black classical musician. The mother of cellist Sheku Kanneh-Mason has claimed her son was excluded from BBC highlights of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's wedding because he is black. Getty/BBC Sheku Kanneh-Mason was personally selected by the Duke of Sussex to perform at the royal wedding after Prince Harry saw him play at a charity event. Mrs. Kanneh-Mason told the Hay Festival audience, "When Sheku played at the royal wedding that night, he was not in any of the BBC highlights. So there was the choir, there was the preacher, but he was left out as though he hadn't been there. The next morning we looked through all the papers. He was not there. So they decided that he was going to be absent. And we thought, what's going on here?" Mrs. Kanneh-Mason explained that she believed the media's decision to exclude her son stemmed from confusion about how to categorise a black classical musician. She said, "I think what it was, the gospel choir was doing what it was supposed to do. The preacher was doing what he was supposed to do. But a black cellist? A black cellist cancels itself out. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's not doing a black thing." The wedding also featured gospel singers, the Kingdom Choir, who performed Stand By Me, and American preacher Art Rev Michael Curry, whose sermon on the redemptive power of love drew significant attention. But Rev Michael Curry, the first black presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, also received significant media attention for his sermon at the ceremony. Let's grow this community. Let's keep the conversation going. And if you want to support this work, you can show love by tapping that super thanks below. Every single one of you helps keep this message alive, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Until next time, stay bold, stay proud, and stay Royal Sussex strong. We don't forget, we don't back down, and we don't let them erase what matters. See you in the next one.